following is a paid program. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the management or ownership of KSTP-AM 1500 ESPN.
The following is a presentation of Cover Your Assets and is offered by Rooker Financial Coaching and Consulting. You're trying to build your income, your business, your life. Challenges are all around you. It seems so overwhelming. People are depending on you. Who do you listen to? Where can you go to find honest, useful information?
Todd Rooker.
For decades, Todd Rooker has been teaching professional education to attorneys, CPAs, bankers, and financial advisors. Rooker Financial Consulting offers advice and coaching to consumers, business owners, and financial professionals on every topic imaginable. If you truly want to succeed, sit back and find out how to cover and build your assets. Here's nationally renowned speaker and expert getting you on the path to financial strength and wealth, Todd Rooker.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Goodness gracious, I had a great story for Jason and Mike in passing here in the studio. Maybe I'll unload that another time. The name of the show this morning is What is Financial Coaching? This is maybe something that I've covered before. God knows I don't know. We're going on, 12 or 13 years or some crazy stuff like that. Probably covered everything I can come up with, but
Todd's been on the air for 7 billion years.
7 billion shows. I like that.
From before the world was even formed, Todd Rooker was there, lurking in the shadows of the universe and giving you advice on what to do for the future.
That's right. I am the beginning and the end. That's right. I love it. Hey, I got a story for you. So I sent out I reposted something with our most recent snowstorm that we had because I know it's kind of an excuse for some people, especially those of you who are employees with paid time off or sick days. And it was a story about a young lady by the name of Christmas, being it is the Christmas season. And she drove, several hours to come and see me on a day when the roads were all shut down. And it was just amazing. She told me what she wanted to do. I gave her as much information as I could. And the best part about it is she has literally gone on. She wanted to own her own State Farm insurance agency, which given what she was up against, I'll just tell you, I don't recall the whole deal. But basically, you need to have a bachelor's degree to get to become an agency owner, to become a licensed agent, and have your own agency with State Farm, with very, very few exceptions. And those few exceptions are typically that one of your parents was already an agent for years, has a big agency. Maybe you worked for him for 5 years. And now you're going to take over the agency. Those are rare exceptions where somebody without a bachelor's degree might be able to get an agency. So
my understanding is it's one of those things where they say they don't make exceptions, but sometimes they do.
Sometimes they do.
For very, very special people.
That's right. Yeah, exactly. Because they know for the business of State Farm that is probably a good thing to retain those customers. And yeah, exactly right. So she didn't have that. And that's what she was up against. And she had this dream of owning her own agency. And that, I know that industry. And I, just like probably, Evan just stated, it was, that's a snowball's chance and, to make that happen. She went on and did it. And that is just absolutely amazing. It's 2019. I talked to her. It's 2022 where she owns her own agency. I see the social media with her and her team. And I'm impressed to no end. And I told that story. So I reposted that story with a little, hard edge blurb, which you can always count on me for in advance of the story. And I sent it out to everybody through Messenger. Now, the social media etiquette is lost on this old-time Navy guy. So I sent it out to everybody, and everybody means, I don't know what, like 5,000 people who in Messenger. So this gal, her name is Avril, I think, And she sends me something back saying, I don't need your services, but I think you probably need mine. Probably didn't like what I wrote, how I wrote it, whatever faux pas that I had done. And then she, I immediately, being the smart ass that I am, I immediately go back and say, no, you're wrong about that. Everybody needs me. Everybody. Oh, she doesn't have the sense of humor that I have, apparently. And, oh, my goodness, she came back. And invariably, then she said, I'm 59 years old. I don't think, I'm pretty certain that I know who I need and what I need. And again, I'm just joking this up. I could care less. And I go on and I say, I'm 62, I win. So she's really thinking I'm serious. So then she sends me this dictated voicemail response in Messenger that says, I'm not interested. I don't know where you got my name. I don't want to date you, and buzz off. And all I can think is, what is she on dating sites or something? And people are responding. I have no idea. Listen. And then she cuts me off as a friend on Facebook, so I can't reply back. Which, of course, I would have responded back with something even more smart alecky, undoubtedly, because I'm just having fun with this. I just think this is hilarious. Anyway, just know I'm not trying to date you, and it's okay. I really, really don't want to have your business. That's not the deal. I just sent it out to everybody. So chill out, baby. Chill out. Anyway, so what is financial coaching is really an interesting thing, because for a lot of people who come from different spaces, and I will say that psychology plays such an infinitely important role in people's mindsets and their ability to succeed with anything, whether it's financial or not. So I cannot fault anybody who has skills in those areas who's trying to coach and help people. I make jokes, pseudo-psychology, you're going to help people's relationships, and that's not me. I'm a financial guy. And it is true. I look at the numbers, but you cannot help but get into the weeds in that area because it is such an integral component to helping people succeed at what they want to do. But for me, people will, I'll say that I'm a financial coach and strategist. Now, I sit on the boards. I'm paid to sit on the boards of many different companies to attend their meetings wherein they're making decisions about their company, the growth of the company, the financial decisions that they're going to make, whether they're going to endeavor into a new area, a new line, spend money on marketing, hire new people, expand, sell the business, whatever. I'm involved in a lot of those different discussions, and I'll just tell you, do have the acumen to be able to offer really, I think, useful information and advice. And a lot of times that comes from the simple fact that I'm not engaged in the culture and I'm not conflicted by those decisions in the way that people who are in the business are, because they're all about the relationships and the people and not necessarily about straightforward numbers and success, not respective of those relationships and those people. And that can be a very useful perspective, even if put up against the ones that you've already got that do include all of those considerations. So I help people in almost every area of money and finance. You tell me what you want to do, and I probably know how to do it, and I know the resources to be able to help you find people who are in different areas, and not just people, but the best people. I could tell you a story about a deal that might have went sideways here because a referral was done with a person who was not vetted properly. And that person decided that despite the fact that they had received the referral from somebody else, they wanted that client for themselves and basically ran away with them. And despite and by demeaning everyone else who referred them the business. Unbelievable. But, that's what happens when you don't know who you're referring or you haven't been in the business long and you're not seasoned. So when I give you resources, they are going to be highly vetted. And I know, while you might say I want an attorney or I want a CPA or I want a real estate agent or a banker or a mortgage broker or whatever, I can tell you that I don't just give that information out. I want to know everything about you. I want to know all about who you are, what you do, and where you want to go, because I know lots of really good people. I'm looking for the person that is specifically right for you and is fabulous. And that's very different than finding somebody who's good. A good attorney could be in multitudes of areas of practice, and the fact that they're good in one area does not at all necessarily make them good in other areas. So there's a lot. So when people say, "What do you do?" Very few people know how to explain what I do and what financial coaching actually is, or at least what it is from my perspective and what I actually do with people. So, they will, and I should say something else that I probably mimed before, and that is that people come into my office prepared and willing to pay, because I don't do free consultations. I don't ever do free consultations. You pay me. And if you want to sit there and say nothing for the whole time, that's fine, but I'm getting paid anyway. I don't do anything without getting paid. So when they show up and they'll have check in hand or they'll have cash in hand or whatever. But oftentimes they'll say, I don't really know necessarily why I'm here. What is it that you do? And the person who referred them will many times say, you just need to go and see him. I can't tell you necessarily what he does. I'm just telling you need him. And that's not unique at all. So when somebody says, when I say I'm a financial strategist and coach, they go, so yeah, you're a financial advisor and you're helping people with their investments. No, that's not what I do. Did those things at one time. Don't do that anymore. Okay. Well, what? Are you a CPA? No, not a CPA either. Okay. Are you a banker? Are you a mortgage broker? No. Well, then you're a financial person? Yep. Well, then what do you do? And that's very typical. So I look upon my job as essentially helping a person create financial growth in whatever that might be, whether they be in a job, and I'll just make a distinction between a job as being somewhat dissimilar from a career path where somebody is a thing, but they're employed as a thing. A job might simply be maybe a more blue collar job as opposed to a practitioner who happens to be a physician or an attorney or a CPA, but you may have a good career, even though it's a little different than that. Maybe you're a plumber, maybe you're an electrician, maybe you're a framer, maybe you're a this or that or whatever, a mechanic or whatever. So if you have that, or you have a business, my first concern is how to help you create financial success and growth. That's the first thing. So I want to help you do that as the first thing. And then the second thing, which is absolutely more profound, at least I certainly think it is, and it has proven to be, and that is to actually get you to do these things. Wow, that's an issue, because it's a bit like people having a budget where they reconcile at the end of the month, which really doesn't change anything for them other than the fact that they see what they're doing after the fact when it's too late to do anything about it. Now, I can't argue that if they consistently reconcile at the end of the month or the end of the quarter or whatever it happens to be, it might very well influence the way that they do things going forward. And I won't argue that, because I know that is somewhat profound, and that absolutely is a real thing that you will do that. But the problem is that you want to be able to know how much you'll spend at the end of the month before the month ever begins, because you want to know, if you earn this amount of money, here's how much money you legitimately will have left over, because you've got to have that money left over to be able to invest and to grow financially. So getting you to actually do the things, following through with those things, that is number two. And those are basically the two things I just mentioned are the premise that revolves around everything in relation to how to help you as an individual now. As an individual creating individual wealth. I know everybody out there is all conditioned to want to save the world and start a company to help people who work for them, to employ people and all that. And, all that highbrow, I'm going to save the world. Yeah, whatever. Look, I want to help you create independent individual as a one person or one family to be financially independent, so much so that you're so strong financially that it doesn't matter what's going on in the economy. It doesn't matter what somebody at your job or career tells you. You have the ability to go in another direction and not even miss a beat, not blink, because you've got your own individual financial resources that make you so strong that you wouldn't need to work for the rest of your life and you'd be just fine. Thank you very much. And I mean, not at retirement, not when you're 60 years old. I'm talking about 30, 40, 50 years old, because once you reach financial independence, which is most likely a goal for people when they reach retirement age, but they are going to, look to Social Security to help subsidize that cost. And maybe they've got a little pension if they're older, more in my age group, if there's something that they have. And then they've got their investments, and those investments then are put to work to create an income stream for them through their remaining life that is in keeping with what they need to live, their cost of supporting their lifestyle. Well, what I'm saying is I want to be able to do that as fast as humanly possible. That doesn't mean I want to quit working. Maybe ever. I don't ever want to quit working. But I want financial independence for my clients as fast as I can get them there. And the irony is many don't even look at it that way, because all of us are so conditioned by what was injected into our brains from the time that we were little until now. We don't look at things that way. We do look at doing things for a slog, a lifetime, until invariably we either retire or we drop dead. So I want to be able to create real financial independence, and it is a new concept for a lot of people, and that includes business owners. So that's what I do. That's what financial coaching is and what it revolves around. I'm going to give you more insight into this and the things that you might want to do, and maybe share some ideas with you that you haven't thought of. And if we're lucky, maybe just this radio show puts you on a different trajectory towards financial independence that you were not on before, or maybe not to the same degree. We're going to take our break, and we will be right back talking about what is financial coaching. Be right back. Does your sump pump run constantly? Do you want to ensure that you never have a damp, musty-smelling basement? These issues are caused by water coming off your roof, draining into your basement. Gutters can resolve these problems. William Foss is the owner of Seamless Solutions. He is honest and trustworthy. He is simply the best. If you need gutters or leaf covers, he is the guy to call. You can call him at 612-834-0664 or go to his website, seamlesssolutionsmn.com.
Are you looking for a bank that supports entrepreneurs like you? If you're searching for a bank to grow with you and your business, I would like to welcome you to our Village Bank. Hi, I'm Alicia Webb, President and Vice Chair of Village Bank. I'm honored to lead Village Bank, an entrepreneur's bank that was built by an entrepreneur and for entrepreneurs. Starting a business and then maintaining it requires mindset. It's important for business owners to realize that financial statements aren't just for their bankers and accountants. Knowing your numbers will help build the foundation for you and a healthy and successful business. You don't have to be a financial expert nor a banker, but you do need to understand a few key financial documents and metrics to make your business successful. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn, or visit us at villagebankonline.com. It takes a village to accomplish your business goals. And be sure to tune in to Cover Your Assets the last Saturday of every month to fill your entrepreneurial cup of ambition and start your Saturday off right with me, Alicia Webb, and our Village Bank.
Fix Auto has been the collision repair leader in the Twin Cities for over 40 years. Hi, I'm Matt Feehan, second-generation owner. Our mission at Fix Auto is to provide you with the simplest collision repair experience anywhere. If you're in an accident and you need help, my team is here and ready for you. You can find us on the web at fixautousa.com. That's fixautousa.com. We are Fix Auto, home of the WOW experience.
He can lift a bus straight over his head. He can fly around the world in seconds. And he has the power to regenerate entire limbs.
Okay, so Jason Walgrave isn't actually a superhero. But once you visit his website to find out what he knows about real estate, you may start to think he's superhuman. That's because at jasonwalgrave.com, you'll find absolutely anything you need to know about real estate in the Twin Cities. Whether you're looking to buy or sell your home, check out jasonwalgrave.com, the #1 place for all your real estate questions.
Finding a good banker and CPA are like having a good doctor or mechanic. You cannot fully appreciate the value they represent until you're in a pinch and truly need them. However, that's not the time to go looking for one. Instead, you want to position and strategize well in advance for a favorable outcome. CPA Arliss Cleveland of Arliss Cleveland LTD is the CPA firm you've been looking for. As many of you already know, if you're looking for a great CPA, Arliss Cleveland gets my highest endorsement. Arliss Cleveland LTD has now formed a strategic relationship with Village Bank, conveniently located in the Village Bank building, located at 9298 Central Avenue North, Suite 412, Blaine, Minnesota. You can also find Arliss Cleveland LTD certified public accountants and consultants by going to accountingoffices.net or by simply calling 763-786-0639. That contact information again, accounting-offices.net or by simply calling 763-786-0639.
You're listening to Cover Your Assets with Todd Rooker.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. So, are you pondering this? What is a financial coach? Why would you need it? I just want, I'm an insurance agent. I need a, financial advisor. I don't know, coach. What do I need that for? I mean, I'm fine by myself. Thank you very much. Yeah, well, coaches need coaches, if you've ever heard that. And more often than not, the reality is that the things that need to be done are things that are right in front of you. You very likely know exactly what those things are, but you're not doing any of them because you think they're not important. You think they're frivolous, and you're looking for this golden nugget that's going to fix everything, the thing that you weren't aware of before. And now that you know, everything will come together, and my ship will come in. Yeah, right. So back to it here. So to accomplish these things with an individual, the first thing that must be done is to get a full and complete understanding of who you are, how much money you make, how much money your cost of living is, and where you want to go, and then getting a sense of, based on where you are now, what are the things that would have to change and take place for those things to happen? Because sadly, a lot of people and their goals are simply pie in the sky and have very little relationship or validity in terms of where they are now and the way that they're living their life day by day. That's the thing, and that's why I make that ridiculous when my ship comes in. This is one that is that comment is made more often by people who simply want to win the lottery, inherit money, or sue somebody and win money. That's their sense of when my ship comes in. I'll never forget on that. Is it a movie or is it a movie before the show Office, where the guy who gets T-boned in his driveway, coming out of his driveway, and he's in a body cast and he wins all this money in a lawsuit, and now apparently his ship has come in, and everybody's at his party while he's in this body cast, and he says to one guy, he says, maybe you can be lucky like me someday.
Yeah, he's finally made it.
Yeah, and listen, I say this, and I know how many people, really sad sack people, really feel this way. And if that's you, and that hits you between the eyes and you don't like me anymore, perfect, because I don't like you. There are people who really do feel that way. They've given up the belief that they are ever going to do it on their own. And this is the only way in their minds they're ever going to succeed. That's why the top 3 ways that people are going to become wealthy, and it's shocking how many people think they're going to succeed, have no idea how to do it. They're working a basic job, and they're really not doing anything to make it happen. And they're hoping, top 3 reasons, they're going to inherit money, they're going to win the lottery, they're going to win a lawsuit. That's how they think they're going to make money. That's how they think they're going to get rich. Wow. So I have to look at a person, and before someone even does comes to see me for a consultation, I have them fill out a lengthy 14-page discovery package that tells me everything about them. If they have kids with special needs, what career, how long they've been in it, how they get paid every 2 weeks, once, bi-monthly as opposed to every 2 weeks, weekly, monthly. Do they own their own business? What are their aspirations? Do they own their own house? Do they rent? Do they own investment properties? Do they have investments? I mean, everything and anything about your life financially. And I spend at least a half an hour of that 2-hour consultation going through that just to get a thorough understanding of where they are, because that has everything to do with where you want to go and what you're going to have to do to get there. So that's the first thing that has to take place. You got to have a thorough understanding of the individual you're talking to and a sense of what they're doing thus far to get there, and whether or not that path, if it could be simply just changed slightly, could actually get them there. Now, somebody who is making $60,000 a year and is a single parent with 2 children, I'm just going to tell you right now, they're not on the right path. It's not going to happen because they don't have the ability to put money away to invest with, or very little money. And so the only way they're going to do it is with other people's money. And then are they in a position financially, even, credit-wise, solid, stable, or otherwise, to solicit funds from other people who would believe in them to be able to use to succeed with other people's money? I mean, these are things that are just very basic, but you got to know these things when somebody says they want to do what they want to do. And I can tell them very quickly in definitive terms whether or not what they're thinking is got some legs and possibility, or if it's just a pipe dream and what they're doing is never going to get them there, because somebody needs to hit them over the head or between the eyes and get them to recognize reality here. So that is the first thing to determine, is where is this person and what are the possibilities that they are in a position to do the things that need to be done. So when you see that, you have to be someone who really knows how to do what people want to do. And I believe that I am. I do. If you tell me you've got $20 million and you want to turn it into $100 million, do I have a pretty good sense of how that could be accomplished? Yes. If you're a person who's got $200,000 and wants to have $2 million, do I have a pretty good idea of how that might be accomplished? Yes. If you're starting a business, if you're building a career, if you're trying to make more money, if you're trying to manage your life in such a way that you spend less than you earn, whatever it is that you want to do financially, I have a pretty good grasp on how to do it. I've been around a long time. I've succeeded, I've failed, I've helped people succeed and fail, and I've been through that meat grinder so many times and seen so many things. I don't know everything, but I know a bit. And there's a lot of people out there who I know who can help depending on the areas that you want. Now, these people may not be doing it themselves, but they know specific aspects that you need to get you there. And so being able to put those puzzle pieces together and say, do this, 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 and this, it's really a big deal. So when you look at a job, a career, a business, and your life, that's going to have a lot to do with how that consultation conversation, and even if I take you on as a client and you retain me, then we're going to be going in those directions. And that initial consult has everything to do with what we're going to do from there, because you just might have to radically change everything you need to do to make that happen. And the question really becomes, you said you wanted to do this, but do you really want to? I mean, are you really willing to radically change the way you live today to make that happen? Because if the answer is no, then you really don't want it that bad. Yeah, I mean, it'd be really a great thing. It's really fun to daydream about, but you're not really willing to take the action and do the things that we're talking about. So that's important. Now, it is also important to consider that maybe the job that you have, you need to work another job or have a part-time business on top of your consistent income-producing day job to be able to create enough income that you have something to work with, if nothing more than to prop up your financial transparency from the perspective of anyone else that you would want to bring in and work with. So, in other words, if you want you don't have all the money, all right? You don't have all the money. You don't have the funds put together. You don't have the capacity to qualify for the financing. Well, you want to bring somebody else in, and you want to find the opportunities, and you need somebody else's money to work with to be able to make that happen. See, everybody thinks that's an easy thing. It's not an easy thing, because anyone who has those two things, the funds and the capacity to get loans and financing, is going to want to look at you from a financial perspective. And if they don't, then they're brain dead. So, you want my money for any endeavor. I'm going to pull your credit report. I'm going to want a personal financial statement. I'm going to want to look at your bank statements, just like the bank we're lending you money. I want to see everything. And I'm going to draw a conclusion about who you are as a person based on your financials. And people will say, don't judge me. Well, listen, sorry to tell you, that's exactly what's going to go on. Going to look at your credit, going to have you tell me what's going on in your life to have caused these problems, or why you're doing so well from a credit standpoint. And make no mistake, that is not the end all of everything. You could have an 800 credit score and still be a financial disaster, just so we're clear on that. But I want to see everything. And if you don't look a certain way, you're going to have a real hard time getting anybody to give you any money, any funds, or stand by you in a partnership arrangement. Because even though you may not have the funds, if you're solid, listen to that word, resonate. If you're solid, hey, you're going to have a much easier time. Even though your income is low, the way you manage that income and the way you manage your life, it will say volumes, speak volumes about you. And so you have to figure out a way to morph yourself into the good credit score, the bank statements that tell a story about you and how you see lifestyle in relationship to having stability and creating some form of wealth in your life. Your career and your career path, how have you progressed over time? If you have a business, you might be in a bad business, or at least not a good business in the way that you're doing it, and you need to radically change the way that you're approaching your business, the pricing, the employees, the things that you do, the single practitioner, the things that would allow you to make more money than it costs you to live. Now, what does it cost you to live? Well, our society does not want to promote how to become financially independent. You need to understand that. They like to promote how to make more money to have more life, which just makes you more dependent upon the powers that be to continue to make that income rather than have the net worth, the actual funds, the actual hard assets to be in a strong, solid position to say no to anybody at any time. The powers that be don't want people to be in that position. So the fact that you make $500,000 as a senior VP in a company, or $1 million a year, but you spend on the cost of your amazing lifestyle almost every dollar you have, which means you're dependent upon the system just at a higher level. That's what they want you to pursue. Not to pursue the idea that you have so much in the form of funds, net worth, assets minus liabilities, that you are in a position to say no and go in your own direction at any time in a blink of an eye. Corporations and the government who want dependency are not interested in teaching people how to do that. Hence, why your entire life you've never really heard a whole lot about how to go about doing that. Now, there are a rare few There are a rare few. But the reality is the percentage of people, the general population doesn't listen to those people because that's not how they've been conditioned from the time they were little. That's why when you're little, what do you want to do? Well, I want to be a fireman. Well, I want to be a doctor. Well, why don't you want to be an entrepreneur who creates wealth? Because nobody talks that way. And that's never going to define the masses, 90% of the population. So when you come to me, that's how I think. I want you to begin to think that way, even if that means you're going to be in a career for the rest of your life. We have to define what it takes you to live, and we need to hold you to those numbers so that when you do progress in your life, you don't simply buy a bigger house, get a better car, attend better schools, private schools for your kids, and spend everything you make and have a better lifestyle, which is what you're taught to want, and you still have virtually no money left over. And believe me, it's so easy for that to happen. So the goal is to figure out what is a reasonable lifestyle that you are cool with, you can live with, and you don't feel like you want more. Now, mind you, when you have more money and there's more money sitting in the bank account, for most people, they look at 10, 50, 100 grand in their bank account, and that money can't sit there for very long without them thinking about all the stuff they can buy with it to enhance their lifestyle. And now the opportunity for that money to make more money and create real wealth is gone. So you have to have a design and a belief that you can take that money and do something with it other than just sticking it in the stock market and making a 6 to 8% return over the next 35 or 40 years. You've got to have a belief that you can do that. And so it begins with how are you going to make more money and how are you going to control spending to have that money to work with. That is the next component after figuring out where that person is. How are we going to make those things happen? Let's take another break. We'll be right back. So what is financial coaching? We're defining it right now. I have trusted attorney Brian Aho for more than 10 years to work closely with me to resolve and eliminate debt for many of my personal and business clients. Aho Law Office is the go-to firm I choose because Brian has always been caring and compassionate with my clients, while tenaciously fighting to retain as much of their assets as possible while quickly eliminating their debt. Brian's extensive experience and knowledge of bankruptcy law and willingness to fight allow him to resolve challenges and cases that many attorneys won't. Don't let other attorneys learn on your dime. Rely on the experience of Aho Law Office to help you achieve relief from your creditors. Competent, compassionate legal advocates providing the clarity to protect tomorrow. For more information, call Brian and his staff at 612-271-4047 or email Brian directly at brian@aholawoffice.com. Again, that number, 612-271-4047. Hey, are you considering something exceptional to set your home apart and highlight its curb appeal? How about the rich look of custom copper gutters? Copper gutters are not only beautiful, they also offer timeless durability. William Foss with Gutter Solutions installed my beautiful copper gutters. I get compliments every day. If you're looking for extraordinary craftsmanship and would like to consider something truly special, call him at 612-834-0664 or go to their website, seamlessolutionsmn.com. Ask for Billy.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Nybo with the Kimberly Nybo Insurance Agency, serving the community for over 27 years. People tend to be most concerned with price. That is, of course, until something goes wrong. Then the only thing they care about is their coverage. My experience enables me to uncover every available discount. I could save you up to 40% while still offering the proper coverage for the people you care about. Call today for a free review at 763-571-6111 or email me at kim@kimnybo.com.
Hi, this is Troy Danner of Danner's Cabinet Shop. My family has been building custom cabinets and countertops for homes in Minnesota for over 50 years. We still make the cabinets the way my grandpa did when he founded our company. My team of skilled craftsmen pride themselves on attention to detail and making sure every element of your project goes perfectly. Give me a call at 763-753-4002 or visit us online at dannerscabinets.com.
Mike Overson here of Minnesota Home Talk. With today's housing market, buying a house is a competition. To win in a multiple offer situation, you have to work with a local lender who has the reputation of being 100% reliable. Come to the winning team. Get pre-approved for your loan by one of the top lenders in the nation, the Mike Overson Mortgage Team at Luminate Home Loans. We will help you win. Call me at 612-202-8321. That's Mike Overson at 612-202-8321 or go to applywithmike.com.
Todd Rooker here to tell you about the most amazing jewelry store, Golden Treasures on 805 Grand Avenue in St. Paul. I've known the owner, Todd Gimble, for almost 20 years now, and at Golden Treasures, not only do you get more for less, it's the experience that you and your special person will feel when you walk in the door. Todd truly puts his heart and soul into creating your experience regardless of how much money you spend. This is Todd's customer for life philosophy. Take it from me, there really is no other jewelry store. You can't go wrong with Golden Treasures in St. Paul. 651-227-2711. That's 651-227-2711. Finding a good banker and CPA are like having a good doctor or mechanic. You cannot fully appreciate the value they represent until you're in a pinch and truly need them. However, that's not the time to go looking for one. Instead, you want to position and strategize well in advance for a favorable outcome. CPA Arliss Cleveland of Arliss Cleveland LTD is the CPA firm you've been looking for. As many of you already know, if you're looking for a great CPA, Arliss Cleveland gets my highest endorsement. Arliss Cleveland LTD has now formed a strategic relationship with Village Bank, conveniently located in the Village Bank building, located at 9298 Central Avenue North, Suite 412, Blaine, Minnesota. You can also find Arliss Cleveland LTD certified public accountants and consultants by going to accountingoffices.net or by simply calling 763-786-0639. That contact information again, accounting-offices.net or by simply calling 763-786-0639.
You're listening to Cover Your Assets with Todd Rooker.
Welcome back, everybody. I'll make another point here. Where you are in terms of managing your money is not only about controlling spending, controlled and intentional spending plan and managing it. But for a lot of you, you just say, you're talking about a budget. And when you say a budget, it conjures up this notion that somebody like me is going to be coming in and doing the Dave Ramsey thing and telling you to sell the car and stop spending money and going to, Starbucks coffee or something. I'm not that. I don't care about that because the reality is that human beings rebel when you try to tell them to scale back. And maybe if at the moment that they're coming to see you, life is kicking their rear ends and they're willing to accept those things because of where they are. Because life is, best way for an alcoholic to stop drinking is to hit rock bottom, right? And that's when they're willing to accept the things that previously they were not. It is kind of that way when it comes to money management. When people are in desperate straits, they've run up credit cards, the business has failed, whatever. Now they're willing to listen where before they would not have. Yeah, but they'll only listen for so long because the reality is that they are not built that way. They're only going to do it for a short period of time because they're in this crappy situation and they can't wait to get out of it. It's a bit like I'm going to diet to lose weight. And as soon as I lose the weight, then I can relax and go back to normal. And of course, normal is exactly what created the problem in the first place. It's exactly that way with money management. It is exactly that way. So I'm not going to try to tell you to stop spending money. More often than not, I might tell you that let's keep you where you are and let's figure out how to make more money. Keep your spending at its current level and make more money, control that spending, and then take that money and have exciting designs, meaning that you're enthusiastic about taking that extra money that we want to have extracted out of your hands to protect you from you and put it to work immediately in areas that you're jazzed about. That really is very much it. And it sounds simple. And maybe it sounds like, you're treating me like a little kid. Yeah, because it's the truth, because human beings, no matter how much they protest, and frankly, the more they protest and say they don't need it, chances are the more they do. So it is very much about that. But let me say that it's beyond that, because if I want to grow in the way of growing a business or buying real estate or whatever, more often than not, my finances are going to need to be looked at. And so I know the way those finances need to be looked at, so looked upon. So imagine that if an individual investor like me who has some money put together and you're soliciting my help, I'm going to look at your financial transparency, bank statements, check stubs, tax returns, personal financial statement. And as I said earlier, I'm drawing conclusions around you and whether or not I think what you're proposing and you as a person are viable. So you need to morph yourself into that. Now, if you need legitimate loans at the bank, make no mistake, they're doing the exact same thing. So managing your money, although it is to help you create stability and financial success, it is very much about making you attractive to the types of situations that I've just described. You're morphing yourself into the way you need to look, something that maybe you never even considered. You just figure you are the way you are, and by God, they got the money, they should give it to me. Well, listen, dum-dum, it doesn't work that way. So that's really what intentional and controlled spending is about. And I'm trying to help you determine how to control your spending and get to that next level. And then that's obviously with the intention or the idea of investing those dollars into things that will create the greatest amount of leverage for your money, wherein your money becomes something unto itself. So when I say that, what do I mean? What does that mean, unto itself? It means that without you going to work and doing the thing you do, practitioner, employee every day, your money is gaining momentum and increasing its value ongoingly. That's what it means. It's like you just morphed yourself into two people, and now instead of one person going to work creating an income, you've got two people. Think of the assets that you own as being that. That's what you're looking for. Without your efforts, it becomes something unto itself. It expands, it grows, and $100,000 becomes $1 million. How does that happen? Well, you got to have something to work with in the first place most of the time. But you've got to spend less than you earn, or you got nothing to work with. And if every time you got $50,000 in your bank account and you want to impress all your neighbors by going and writing a check for $50,000 to buy a new boat or to buy a motor home or to put it down on a lake home, you're not going anywhere. And all those things that I just mentioned are things that most of you are dreamily desiring to attain. And those things are not assets in my book. Those are lifestyle things. Those things don't make me money because I'm not going to, I mean, that's not the point. The point is that I want to put my money into things that create something unto itself. So what are those things? So this is a part of what I do, the education. So education is what are the options then? All right. So I spent less than I earn. I've proven that. I'm putting away $500, $300, $1,000, $10,000 a month, whatever it happens to be, $100,000 a month. And yeah, you're right. Up until this point, all I've ever thought about is how I'm going to take that money and use it to enhance my lifestyle. As a matter of fact, my goals are built around if I do this year as a goal, then I'm going to be able to buy myself this thing. Well, maybe I dissuade you from that. So now you're saying, okay, smart Alec, where do I put the money? We're going to take a break, and I'll come back and give you the categories and which ones might be best for you in your life. Let's take another break.
Hello, I'd like to talk with you about financial coaching. Traditional financial planners help you make decisions about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds with money you already have. That's great, but who helps you accumulate more money in the first place? Who helps you make day-by-day life decisions? Who isn't trying to sell you something? Like, should I go back to school? Am I wasting money on insurance? How to purchase and finance a car, boat, home, lake cabin, or investment property? How to start, manage, and sell a business? It's about making minor errors that become colossal mistakes and cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. The problem is that you're so busy pursuing your career that you're forced to make critical financial decisions that have a dramatic long-term effect on your finances without adequate research or information. Rooker Financial Coaching is like having a personal CFO for every decision. Don't waste time lamenting the bad decisions of the past or money that's run through your fingertips. Stop procrastinating. Call Rooker Financial Coaching, 763-559-3800. That's 763-559-3800. Call me today, Todd Rooker, 763-559-3800. That's 763-559-3800.
I have trusted attorney Brian Aho for more than 10 years to work closely with me to resolve and eliminate debt for many of my personal and business clients.
Aho Law Office is the go-to firm I choose because Brian has always been caring and compassionate with my clients, while tenaciously fighting to retain as much of their assets as possible while quickly eliminating their debt. Brian's extensive experience and knowledge of bankruptcy law and willingness to fight allow him to resolve challenges and cases that many attorneys won't. Don't let other attorneys learn on your dime. Rely on the experience of Aho Law Office to help you achieve relief from your creditors. Competent, compassionate legal advocates providing the clarity to protect tomorrow. For more information, call Brian and his staff at 612-271-4047 or email Brian directly at brian@aholawoffice.com. Again, that number, 612-271-4047. Todd Rooker here to tell you about the most amazing jewelry store, Golden Treasures on 805 Grand Avenue in St. Paul. I've known the owner, Todd Gimble, for almost 20 years now, and at Golden Treasures, not only do you get more for less, it's the experience that you and your special person will feel when you walk in the door. Todd truly puts his heart and soul into creating your experience regardless of how much money you spend. This is Todd's customer for life philosophy. Take it from me, there really is no other jewelry store. You can't go wrong with Golden Treasures in St. Paul. 651-227-2711. That's 651-227-2711.
Are you looking for a bank that supports entrepreneurs like you? If you're searching for a bank to grow with you and your business, I would like to welcome you to our Village Bank. Hi, I'm Alicia Webb, President and Vice Chair of Village Bank. I'm honored to lead Village Bank, an entrepreneur's bank that was built by an entrepreneur and for entrepreneurs. Starting a business and then maintaining it requires mindset. It's important for business owners to realize that financial statements aren't just for their bankers and accountants. Knowing your numbers will help build the foundation for you and a healthy and successful business. You don't have to be a financial expert nor a banker, but you do need to understand a few key financial documents and metrics to make your business successful. Follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn or visit us at villagebankonline.com. It takes a village to accomplish your business goals. And be sure to tune in to Cover Your Assets the last Saturday of every month to fill your entrepreneurial cup of ambition and start your Saturday off right with me, Alicia Webb, and our Village Bank.
Fix Auto has been the collision repair leader in the Twin Cities for over 40 years. Hi, I'm Matt Feehan, second-generation owner. Our mission at Fix Auto is to provide you with the simplest collision repair experience anywhere. If you're in an accident and you need help, my team is here and ready for you. You can find us on the web at fixautousa.com. That's fixautousa.com. We are Fix Auto, home of the WOW experience.
Hi, I'm Kimberly Nybo with the Kimberly Nybo Insurance Agency, serving the community for over 27 years. People tend to be most concerned with price. That is, of course, until something goes wrong. Then the only thing they care about is their coverage. My experience enables me to uncover every available discount. I could save you up to 40% while still offering the proper coverage for the people you care about. Call today for a free review at 763-571-6111 or email me at kim@kimnybo.com.
You're listening to Cover Your Assets with Todd Rooker.
Welcome back. So, it's an interesting thing, as I say, what are the investment categories? Because the number of folks who figure out at some point, wherever that is, maybe age 40, age 50, age 60, whatever, that the current trajectory that they're on, meaning the amount of money that they are putting away for their so-called retirement, and the return that those investments have enjoyed over a period of time, are not going to take them to an overall number that gets them where they want to go. Or like many seniors whose number one fear, this is true, is that they will live too long and run out of money so that their money is not going to do for them what they need it to do. And they literally are fearful. That's why they'll say, I don't want to live that long. Well, the reason they're saying that is because they are afraid of that very thing and they don't want to be 80 plus years old living in squalor. That's what it means. And I have had these conversations when I was in that business, when people come to you and want a retirement plan analysis, and they're told that the amount of money that they have cannot support the current cost of living, and they and that includes inflation, and they're freaking out. So their answer is they got to find somebody who's going to help, who's going to do more with their money, but they don't want to do anything. Well, I got news for you. The opportunities that are available are paper, meaning stocks, bonds, mutual funds, index funds, annuities, all that. 2 is starting and running and building your own business for a sale to create a value, a number, not just income for you, but create a value on top of that. And that means reinvesting in your own business. So when I say spend less than you earn, whatever the business is earning that's paying you, you can't be spending all that money. And then with that money, do you want to invest it into a retirement account, into outside investments, or are you going to reinvest it in the company? Because reinvesting in the company, if your margins aren't good, might be a terrible idea. 3rd one is investing in other people's businesses, kind of like angel investors that you see on Shark Tank. And the 4th one is investing in real estate. And I got news for you, folks. None of those things, other than paper, are a set it and forget it situation. None of them. And if you don't like that because you're 65 years old and you think you're going to find another financial advisor who's going to do better with your money, you're delusional. Putting your money into more aggressive investments more often than not really doesn't, statistically based on past performance, when people do that, doesn't actually increase your net worth and your rate of return. As a matter of fact, it's just the opposite. So more often than not, when you're taking monies that might be put into the index fund or large cap companies and putting them into smaller mid cap companies that do have more potential for growth, but also dramatically more potential to go out of business or to lose money, statistically, they don't do better than the more solid, secure businesses. So you taking more risk with somebody who's going to do more with your money, more often net result is it's less. So that's that. Well, that leaves you with starting your own business. Well, I'm 70 years old. I want to start my own business. I'm afraid of investing in other people's businesses because I don't know anything about that. Scares the crap out of me. And the last one is I don't want to own real estate because I don't want to fix toilets in the middle of the night. So I just want to put my head in the sand and die. This is terrible. Yeah, well, it is what it is, so buck up. And for the people who are younger, 30, 40 years old, the irony is many of them are hanging around with people who make a fraction of what they earn. So maybe they're 30 or 40 years old, so they do have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, and they think they're doing so well that they have no desire to do any better, and they're doing just fine, thank you very much, because they compare themselves to all the other dumb broke people who don't have that money. You got to be a person who wants more, and if you want more, I know how to help you. Hope you enjoyed the show, everybody. What is a financial coach? Help you create more. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Hello, I'd like to talk with you about financial coaching. Traditional financial planners help you make decisions about stocks, bonds, and mutual funds with money you already have. That's great, but who helps you accumulate more money in the first place? Who helps you make day-by-day life decisions? Who isn't trying to sell you something? Like, should I go back to school? Am I wasting money on insurance? How to purchase and finance a car, boat, home, lake cabin, or investment property? How to start, manage, and sell a business? It's about making minor errors that become colossal mistakes and cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars over your lifetime. The problem is that you're so busy pursuing your career that you're forced to make critical financial decisions that have a dramatic long-term effect on your finances without adequate research or information. Rooker Financial Coaching is like having a personal CFO for every decision. Don't waste time lamenting the bad decisions of the past or money that's run through your fingertips. Stop procrastinating. Call Rooker Financial Coaching, 763-559-3800. That's 763-559-3800. Call me today, Todd Rooker, 763-559-3800. That's 763-559-3800.
This has been a paid program. The views expressed were not necessarily those of the management or ownership of KSTP AM 1500 ESPN. You're listening to 1500